Hello, everyone. My name is Paul. I am the founder of Woke News Report and also the creator of Woke Board Game, which you can find more information about at wokeboardgame.com. This is the Woke News Report podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about state legislators. There has been a rash of veto overrides in states, particularly in Kansas, over the last couple of weeks, and they're very important to the woke movement or wokeism or all of that stuff. So let's just dive right in. The first one here is Kansas enacts law saving babies born alive. Now, no one thought that this would ever be something that we would have to discuss, right? I mean, it seems illogical that, okay, a baby is born alive and all of a sudden you have to take steps legislatively in order to protect that baby. It's crazy to even think about, but this Kansas law was voted on by the legislature, and it was approved and sent to the governor. And once it got to the governor vetoed it because the governor said, "Well, this doesn't happen anyway, and there's no reason for this." Essentially, I mean, that was really the argument overall. The vote was 87-37, and the Senate was 31-9 to approve the bill dubbed the Born Alive Infants Protection Act. So the governor says, well, it's not really needed because it's not happening anyway. Well, if it's not happening anyway, like if this is not already happening, why not just sign the bill? Why not just go ahead and sign it? It's not happening. If it's not happening, no one's going to get in trouble. No one's breaking the law or breaking the bill, so to speak, already. Well, let there be something in writing that says that if they do break the law or do break the bill, there's going to be some fine or punishment. The governor in Kansas was like, well, this is unneeded. It's not necessary. This is not happening anyway. What does that tell you? It tells me that this is happening. It has to be happening. If the governor says there's no reason to sign this one, it's not happening. Yeah, it probably is happening, and there's probably going to be some pushback. Some people are going to get in trouble. So, it's just crazy to even think that we're having a discussion about this. And this started, by the way, back in, I think, West Virginia. Governor Northam, Mr. Blackface, right? He's the guy that was caught wearing blackface in pictures, and he survived his entire term. Now, everybody thought that he was going to get kicked out or he was going to get, at least censured or something. Nothing happened to the guy. He just served out his term like normal because Democrats fall upwards. They never fall down. They fall upwards. He survived that easily. He served out his term and all of that. But this actually comes about because there was a big debate at the same time the blackface thing was going on with him. He was, was he or was he not for infanticide? Because once again, a governor was against something like this that never happens. It doesn't happen anyway. So why do we have to enact some law that's meaningless for something that doesn't happen? You can draw your own conclusions on if it does or doesn't happen. I don't know. I don't have any empirical evidence to say that it does or doesn't. But if it's not happening, what's the harm in signing the bill? Well, this governor in Kansas decided to not sign the bill and was overrode by the legislature. And I mentioned that Kansas is kind of a hot topic today because, again, just recently, the Kansas legislature overrides governor's veto of transgender bathroom bill, and the left freaks out. Well, why wouldn't woke people freak out about everything? But once again, in Kansas has a real problem here. There's a reason you elect people to do things, and for whatever reason, thank God they have a basically Republican supermajority in Kansas because the same people voted in a Democrat governor, I guess. I don't know. People like split government. Well, it's good, if you have a Republican here and Democrats there, or you have a Democrat here and it's a check and a balance and all that. And, the psychological twist that you've got to go through to even get to that point. But in Kansas, it's a real thing because the governor there is a Democrat. And once again, Kansas legislature approved a bill that would keep transgender out of bathrooms. Now, this goes for schools, it goes for prisons, it goes for gyms, and, pretty much everywhere. Pretty important bill to have, I would think, if you want to protect your children. But, once again, the Kansas governor decides, well, it's not really happening. And even if it is, we're overstepping our boundaries and, men can go into the bathroom with little girls, show their junk and all that. It's sickening in a lot of ways. That's the woke. That's what the woke thing is. Oh, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's never going to be okay. Sorry. So this one here, it's so crazy because once again, they took it and the House voted 84-40. So at least Kansas has some legislature that is fighting back against this stuff. They're sending good bills, I guess. The governor that Kansas voted in, for whatever reason, and nobody even knows, there's no telling why people voted this particular governor in, Governor Laura Kelly, a Democrat who looks like one of those dotty old women who sends anonymous notes to the pastor claiming the music at church is too loud. That's their commentary on it, which is kind of funny because, everybody that's been in church knows that lady, as far as, the one that's sending the notes that the music is too loud. But the original House vote was 83-41, just one vote short of the veto-proof majority. So they pretty much flipped one person for the veto. It doesn't say here in the article who that one person was, but whoever you are, if you're out there, you see this, kudos to you. Kudos to you for, flipping one more seat to have a supermajority, 84-40 rather than 83-41. It's just one of those things where, woke is a top-down system, right? I say this all the time, practically every podcast. Woke is a top-down system that people use in order to depopulate. Well, what does men using little kids' bathrooms have to do with depopulation? It's pretty simple. You get traumatized if you're a little girl in a bathroom with a grown man. It ruins your life. In a sense, people have a lot of struggles from childhood. That's the last thing that they need. So it's crazy. 2 times in Kansas already, just in the last week or so, this governor, who must be a pathetic person, vetoes good bills based on protecting children. And, that just tells you everything you need to know about the value of life to the Kansas governor. There is no value to life to the Kansas governor. It's either kill babies after they've been born alive, which she says doesn't happen, or it's let grown men go into your child's bathroom. It's crazy. Good for Kansas for turning that over because that's a mess. PBS Newswire. Now, PBS is government-sponsored media, just so you know. Elon Musk said so the other day on Twitter, and he flagged them as state-sponsored media, and they all got angry and stuff. But here's PBS, very leftist, very children-unfriendly, woke people. So North Dakota lawmakers fail to override governor veto of bill that restricts personal pronouns in schools. So this is a case where they voted for it. It passed. They sent it to the governor, and the governor vetoed it. He sent it back to the legislature, and the legislature was not able to get enough votes to override the veto. What makes this interesting is Republican Governor Doug Burgum's office announced the veto, and the Senate overrode it. Well, the bill would have prohibited public school teachers and employees from acknowledging the personal pronouns a transgender student uses. You're a teacher. Little Susie comes up to you and says, "Hi, teacher, how are you?" And you say, "Hello, ma'am," or "Hello, sir." Little Susie may not be a ma'am or a sir because she decided, or he decided, or whatever they are now, because you can decide your gender, right? But at some point, teachers have to be able to call Billy a boy and Susie a girl. It's been that way for 1,000 years. It should always be that way. And they keep pushing it in the school system so that now you can't even gender somebody based on their actual gender. You have to ask little Susie, "Little Susie, what do you feel like today? Are you a boy today or are you a girl today?" And little Susie says, "I'm a they today." And the teacher says, "They would whatever." It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So this governor here, he's a Republican, by the way. Pathetic. He's got to be a pathetic human being. I don't know him, but you got to be a pretty pathetic human being. The teaching profession is challenging enough without heavy hand of state government forcing teachers to take on the role of pronoun police. The heavy hand of state government forcing teachers. Well, the heavy hand of state government when it comes to teaching is pretty heavy. Math, English, history. You know, you can dictate a whole lot of things that teachers can and cannot do. It seems like common sense in the world we live in today to tell teachers you're not going to get in trouble if you misgender, quote unquote, Billy or Susie. A parent is not going to come after you because you called Susie a little girl and Billy a little boy. You have the protections that you need. In this article, the First Amendment already protects teachers from speaking contrary to their beliefs. Okay. So, you know, does this even make any sense to you? Not you. You're smart people watching this. To him, he says the First Amendment already protects teachers from speaking contrary to their beliefs. What if your belief is you can have sex with animals? That's contrary, and you're told, you know, I can teach this. This is my First Amendment right. It's not contrary to what I believe. Can you imagine? Based on this guy's theory, Burgum, whoever, he's a Republican guy here. Based on his theory, teachers can teach whatever they want. And if the parents don't like it, or the people don't like it, the school districts don't like it, what can he say? It's the First Amendment already protects teachers from speaking contrary to their beliefs. Well, we need laws like this. We need to be able to tell teachers what to teach and how to teach it, by the way. That's a big problem right now. Teachers are there to teach, but they're there to teach certain things. So, you know, it's just crazy to even look at some of these things. And unfortunately, this one was not overturned. In other words, he vetoed the bill. It didn't have enough votes to pass the second time around to override the veto. And so guess what, North Dakota? Teachers are going to be able to teach and say whatever they want and however they want it. It's just crazy. So if you like this video and you enjoyed the commentary, please like it. Please share it. Please subscribe. Let other people know. It's the Woke News Report podcast, and we'll see you next time.